Welcome back. We are in Senior English 8, and this is now the continuation of our conversation on King Arthur, the Knights of the Round Table. We're going to finish with the text Green Knight, and we're going to then move on. So let's now resume our study of Green Knight. Key, go back and focus on it again in your notes. The word chivalry should be written down. Again, 3 elements to chivalry that we talked about. 1 was courage, 2 was honor, respect, 3 was some kind of physical strength to attend those first 2. All 3 of these represented in the text, Green Knight. You should right now be able to write down on your notes an example of all 3 of those, and with Miss Laird's help, you ought to be able to have an actual page number, line number, so that you can reference this for your internal validation. All right? We'll now come back and we'll finish with Miss Laird. Thank you, Miss Laird.
Okay, page 180, guys.
Page 180.
Said the Green Knight then, and well met this morning, man, at my place. And you have followed me faithfully and found me betimes. And on the business between us, we both are agreed. 12 months ago today, you took what was yours, and you at this new year must yield me the same. And we have met in these mountains, remote from all eyes. There is none here to halt us or hinder our sport. Unhasp your high helm, and have here your wages. Make no more demur than I did myself when you hacked off my head.
Line 345.
No, by God, said Sir Gawain, that granted me life, I shall grudge not the guerdon, grim though it prove, and you may lay on as you like, till the last of my part be paid. He proffered with good grace his bare neck to the blade, and feigned a cheerful face. He scorned to seem afraid.
Paulson's here.
Then the grim man in green gathers his strength, heaves high the heavy axe to hit him the blow. With all the force of his brain, he stretches it aloft, with a grimace as grim as he would grind him to bits. And the blow he bestowed being as big as he threatened, a good knight and gallant had gone to his grave. But Gawain at the great axe glanced up aside, as down it descended with death-dealing force, and his shoulders shrank a little from the sharp iron. Abruptly, the brawny man breaks off the stroke, and then reproved with proud words that prince among knights. You are not Gawain the glorious, the green man said, that never fell back on field in the face of the foe, and now you flee for fear, and have felt no harm. Such news of that night I never heard yet. I moved not a muscle when you made to strike, nor cavilled at the cut in King Arthur's house. My head fell to my feet, yet steadfast I stood, and you, all unharmed, are wholly dismayed. Wherefore the better man I, by all odds, must be. Said Gawain, strike once more. I shall neither flinch nor flee, but if my head falls to the floor, there is no mending me.
So he's met up with the Green Knight, and the Green Knight swings his weapon back, brings it down, and gives him a little nick on the neck, and Gawain flinches. He's like, when you went to cut my neck, I didn't flinch, I just stood there and let you cut it off, and then I stood straight. And Gawain says, what? Well, if you cut off my head, I won't be able to stand up. I won't be able to fix myself. So that's where we are. The Green Knight's teasing him for having flinched when he brought down the blade to his neck. Haven't you ever heard of don't flinch, don't flinch? Right. Okay, top of 181.
But go on, man, in God's name, and get to the point. Deliver me my destiny, and do it out of hand. For I shall stand to the stroke and stir not an inch till your axe is hit home. On my honor, I swear it. Have at thee then, said the other, and heaves it aloft, and glares down as grimly as he had gone mad. He made a mighty feint, but marred not his hide, withdrew the axe adroitly before it did damage. Gawain gave no ground, nor glanced up aside, but stood still as a stone, or else a stout stump that is held in hard earth by 100 roots. Then merrily does he mock him, the man all in green. So now you have your nerve again. I needs must strike. Uphold the high knighthood that Arthur bestowed, and keep your neck bone clear if this cut allows. Then, was Gawain, gripped with rage, and grimly he said, "Why, thrash away, tyrant. I'm tired of your threats. You make such a scene, you must frighten yourself." Said the green fellow, "In faith, so fiercely you speak, that I shall finish this affair, nor further grace allow." He stands prepared to strike, and scowls with both lip and brow. No marvel if the man mislike, who can hope no rescue now. He gathered up the grim axe and guided it well. Let the barb at the blade's end brush the bare throat. He hammered down hard, yet harmed him no whit, save a scratch on one side that severed the skin. The end of the hooked edge entered the flesh, and a little blood lightly leapt to the earth. And when the man beheld his own blood bright on the snow, he sprang a spear's length with feet spread wide, seized his high helm, and set it on his head, shoved before his shoulders the shield at his back, bears his trusty blade, and boldly he speaks. Not since he was a babe born of his mother was he once in this world one half so blithe. Have done with your hacking, harry me no more. I have borne as behooved one blow in this place. If you make another move, I shall meet it midway, and promptly, I promise you, pay back each blow with brand. One soldier quits me here, so did our covenant stand in Arthur's court last year, wherefore, sir, hold your hand.
So once again, the Green Knight, they're bickering back and forth at each other. And the Green Knight keeps calling him a coward, you flinched. And he says, just do it. Just hit me with it, okay? Enough of the games. So he brings it down, and then big swing and hits him in the neck again. So then he jumps back, he's got his shield and his sword, and he says, stop playing with me. Let's battle now. I'm done with your games. So that's where they are right now. He's challenging the Green Knight. Top 182.
He lowers the long axe and leans on it there, sets his arms on the head, the haft on the earth, and beholds the bold knight that bides there afoot. How he faces him fearless, fierce in full arms, and plies him with proud words. It pleases him well. Then once again gaily to Gawain he calls, and in a loud voice and lusty delivers these words. Bold fellow, on this field your anger forbear. No man has made demands here in manner uncouth, nor done save as duly determined at court. I owed you a hit, and you have it. Be happy therewith. The rest of my rights here I freely resign. Had I been a bit busier, a buffet perhaps, I could have dealt more directly and done you some harm. First, I flourished with a feint in frolicsome mood, and left your hide unhurt. And here I did well by the fair terms we fixed on the first night. And fully and faithfully you followed accord, gave over all your gains as a good man should. A second feint, sir, I assigned for the morning. You kissed my comely wife. Each kiss you restored. For both of these there behooved but 2 feigned blows by right. True men pay what they owe. No danger then in sight. You failed at the 3rd throw, so take my tap, Sir Knight. For that is my belt about you, that same braided girdle. My wife it was that wore it, I know well the tale, and the count of your kisses, and your conduct too, and the wooing of my wife, it was all my scheme. She made trial of a man most faultless by far, of all that ever walked over the wide earth. As pearls to white peas more precious and prized, so is Gawain in good faith to other gay knights.
So if you recollect when they got there, when Gawain got there, he met a lord and a lady. And the lady of the house gave him the girdle to protect himself. What the knight is saying now is, that was me. I'm the lord. I had my wife try and make the moves on you to see if you were worthy, to see if you were a gallant knight, right? And he says that the girdle you're wearing is mine, and I gave it to my wife to give to you. We were tricking you the whole time. So we are at the bottom of 182.
Yet you lacked, sir, a little in loyalty there. But the cause was not cunning, nor courtship either, but that you loved your own life, the less then to blame. The other stout knight, in a study, stood a long while, so gripped with grim rage that his great heart shook. All the blood of his body burned in his face as he shrank back in shame from the man's sharp speech. The first words that fell from the fair knight's lips, "Accursed be a cowardly and covetous heart. In you is villainy and vice and virtue laid low." Then he grasps the green girdle and lets go the knot, hands it over in haste, and hotly he says, "Behold there my falsehood, ill hap betided. Your cut taught me cowardice, care for my life, and coveting came after, contrary both to largesse and loyalty belonging to knights. Now I am faulty and false, that fearful was ever of disloyalty and lies. Bad luck to them both, and greed. I confess, knight, in this place most dire is my misdeed. Let me gain back your good grace, and thereafter I shall take heed." Then the other laughed aloud, and lightly he said, "Such harm as I have had, I hold it quite healed. You are so fully confessed, your failings made known, and bear the plain penance of the point of my blade. I hold you polished as a pearl, as pure and as bright as you had lived free of faults since first you were born. And I give you, sir, this girdle that is gold-hemmed and green as my garments, that, Gawain, you may be mindful of this meeting when you mingle in throng with nobles of renown, and known by this token how it chanced at the Green Chapel to chivalrous knights. And you shall in this new year come yet again, and we shall finish out our feast in my fair hall with cheer."
Okay, so in the end, what did the knight say to him? Ricardo.
I didn't read the story.
Did anybody catch what the knight said to him in the end?
Which night?
They're coming back, aren't they?
The green knight.
Coming back.
He tells him, "You passed all my tests, I forgive you, you are a good knight, and I give you this girdle as a reminder of what went down here."
And what did go down there? Put it in your own words.
Chivalry.
What is it that really is this story about? We can use the term chivalry now, can't we? By the way, at 2B, make sure that you've recorded, this is what we call a medieval romance. Romance, okay, that's that 2B literary analysis topic. In other words, this is a story that is inclined to teach you something, more particularly to help you learn something. What are you supposed to learn from a story like this? Is it don't make mistakes? No, because obviously he makes mistakes. What is it? You got it. Two things. Let's put them in our notes. One, you have to admit your mistakes. This will sound, by the way, kind of like unstoppable philosophy, won't it? One, you have to admit when you screwed up. Stop pretending like it's not a mistake. Admit it. Say, I screwed up. But then two, you have to desire to try to not do it again. Right? That's that change of heart thing. All right? And notice how this story kind of teaches that lesson through a really kind of spectacular story. A guy gets his head chopped off. It's unbelievable that he can pick the head back up. Right? In other words, this story seems to suggest, this is important, all life is a test. Constantly these are tests that we see, right? The issue is not passing all the tests. Sometimes we will fail, but when we fail, learn from the experience and try to improve, try and be better. All right? So there you go, the story of Sir Gawain the Green Knight.